Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Fallout New Vegas. So I finished the Lonesome Road DLC, which is somewhere around here. Let's see where, no, it's here. I think, maybe there. Maybe there. No, that's it. And now we have like two more DLCs to do. One would be to follow the quest marker that would send me to the Brotherhood of Steel section, which would be here somewhere. Let's see. Should be zoomed out a little bit more. There, the abandoned Brotherhood of Steel bunker, which that implies to me that I would get a bunch of power armor, which inherently I wouldn't be able to use on this quest at the Northern Passage, which wants me to have no companions and less than 60 pounds of items on me. If you were playing this game, as far as all of that goes though, like you'd start at Good Springs, and then you would have very possibly seen this level 25 recommended mission well before you would have found Mojave Drive-In, which is a level 15 recommended expansion, and then you would probably have found the Brotherhood of Steel bunker, and then this would have been the last one. But storyline wise and just practically speaking, I think this is the smarter move. Go with nothing in the game, with potentially getting a bunch of Brotherhood of Steel stuff. But I just thought of something else that I said I was going to do and then immediately forgot about it. Let's see if I can reset the level to 1. That's my thought. Here is that I want to change my level, which I'm at the max level of 50, and reset me back down to 1, which would, I think, do a wonder for just continuing the game and having you get XP and it actually feel like it's worth doing. Let's see if we can do this though. I'm going through all of the console commands, and it may just not be one. You can unlock and lock doors using the console command, which you can repair your items. You can scale the character. You can get the current value of skill, special, or karma amount. There's a player.advanced level. You'll gain all the level perks. You'll not level up again until you've made up all the points, though, that you didn't get to do that. So I would have to hope that there was a way to remove levels. Alright, player.setPlayer. Well, okay, here we can do this. Oh, and look, the game has decided to go into a screenshot mode while I was sitting here. Okay. So first things first, I have to unplug the controller and bring up this. Okay, player dot set level And let's see. We could be at 0, or we could be at 1. Let's just go with 0 and see what happens. Okay. And then let's see what that does for us as far as our setup. Now, we may have to do that again because 0 may not just be a valid setting. Okay. So we get the level up stat, and we are at level 0. We have 0 of 0 XP. So we're just resetting everything here as it is. Of course, I could cheat more and give myself extra special points and potentially add every perk. Although adding every perk would be a nightmare, and it'd be easier just to install a mod to do it because you'd have to type in every single code. Okay. In there. Okay. I think that works well. We're at level 1. It leveled us up, so apparently level 0 was not a valid option, but it corrected. So now when we get 200 XP, we'll level up, and we can continue to just play the game instead of what the intention here would be, which is for you to just live with your decisions and continue playing in a static form. This didn't, I think, change any of my relationships, and I don't think it's going to change any of... Oh, I've got way too much guns on me. About all these named guns, and I needed to go take them to Big Mountain, so let's go to Big Mountain. Named guns to play with. Okay. So we have a battle rifle that does 116. We shouldn't be looking at this one. We should be, I think, looking over here. Like, because we're so late in the game, and unless the enemies are now going to descale down to level 0, it doesn't make a lot of sense to use these weapons. 322 for this gun. We're not going to do the mini nukes, let's be realistic here. This modded hunting revolver does 109. This does 285. This one. It's 135. 60. 68. A silence 10mm, 250. And then 85. Okay. It gets me down to 69. Yep. And I'm not going to sort through this and see if maybe there was some duplicate weapons there. Back we go. So far being at level 0's fine. Let's fast travel back to this point. Apologies, this is more setup than I thought I was really going to do. But I do think we've got something interesting here. This named gun almost certainly can't be modded. We have .223 rounds, which it seems to only be able to take those, or... Interesting. Did I get some perk at some point where I could use higher round Let's use some surplus 5.56 bullets. Like that's weird. Why would I be able to use other kinds of bullets in a gun? That must be some kind of perk I bought. Okay. It's also worth pointing out that we did the Lonesome Road DLC and that upgraded Eddie as our companion, but we're not going to ever use Eddie again, more than likely. Alright. So, we have Happy Trails Caravan Guards, we have Ricky, we have Stella, and we have Jed Masterson. And I think this is straight up going to be an escort quest.
Don't be scared to join this caravan. I'll keep a close eye on you. Real close. Promises.
Let's see. So here we have a medicine. Here we have a barter. Alright.
I travel light on
That'll
purpose,
give us 45
okay?
XP.
But if the price is right, I'll tell Jed I'm carrying less, so you can carry more. What's your offer?
We have barter at 100.
You got a deal. You're lucky he trusts me.
Then it gives us 90 XP. And see, it's just so much better to continue to get XP, I think. And then let's do it the medicine one too. We're going to end up probably exhausting a lot of dialogue here at the beginning as just setup, which is not a terrible way to start a new piece of DLC, to actually put some foundation, explain who the important characters are, just kind of explain what's going on.
Hey, fuck you! I didn't say nothing about using Psycho!
Weirdly, that gave me only 41 XP.
God damn it! I didn't say nothing about using Psycho. But, just talking hypno-theoretically here. Got any suggestions?
Let's sell and fixer.
Never said I wanted to kick the habit. Guess I can use it when I run out of the good stuff. How much? That much for a dose? Fucking robbery! Alright, here's your money. Don't spend it all in one place. Nice job, Eagle Eye. Of course I got a pit boy and a vault suit. So what?
I guess we can learn more about Vault 22, maybe.
Where the fuck you think? Vault 22. That's where I grew up.
Let's see.
Oh, you've been to Vault 22, huh? I may have been exaggerating a little. Truth is, I got the suit and the pit boy off a dead prospector who came out from Zion. Guy was dead when I found him, okay? Had a ton of shit on him. That's how I know there's good loot in Zion, see? Sorry. The shit I do with it is so far over your head, be wasting my time to put it in words you could understand. Basically, it makes me badass. More badass, I mean. It's totally mind-blowing shit. It ain't just some bracelet.
Now the color
you know what I mean?
of the game looks perfect on my main screen, but on my third screen it feels really blown out. But that may not be an issue, really, on the recording. I'm not even paying attention to what he's saying.
Huh? Of course I noticed. First thing I noticed about you. Me? I'm so used to wearing mine, it's just normal. Don't think you're someone special just because you got one.
Again, we'll go with speech here.
Go ahead. Your word against mine, fucko. See what happens. Hey, why you gotta go with me like that? Fuck! Look, this is a sweet gig for me. Don't go fucking it up. What are you after anyways?
let's see. If we get rid of him, why would we want to get rid of a character though? Like, seems silly to get rid of a character. So let's just go with I got your number. That's all.
Fine. Just keep it to yourself, all right? Don't be such a fucking jerk about it. You want to know what I do, Toots? Anything I fucking
Sure,
want.
he's
I'm one
aggressive,
of a kind.
but why would you
I've been
want
places, see,
nothing?
and done things. Lots
Unless
of them.
this is some kind of
And when
strategy
it's time
where
to kill shit up,
you can only
hell
carry
yeah,
a certain amount
I'm
of stuff
a fucking
and
storm of death.
or he just
Something
causes
or
trouble.
someone make
But
the mistake of
on the first
crossing Ricky,
playthrough,
I'll fucking dead-eye him.
I don't see
her,
any reason you'd
or
want to get rid of
it.
him or why it's
In
even an
fact-
option.
Yeah, in fact, that's my nickname. Dead-Eye Ricky. That's my name. How you think? I shoot things in the eye. That's how good I am. Yeah, I'm that good. Why, once I got jumped by 3 death jaws. Except, actually, it was 4 of them. Imagine that. But I didn't panic.
Sounds like he's gonna
because-
die no matter what
Because
fairly
I
quickly.
never panic. What I did was become a storm of death. Shot every one of them monsters pop in the eye. No, you heard me right. Death jaws. They're like death claws, but bigger teeth. Or there was the time one of them Steel Brotherhood assholes made the mistake of messing with me. Last mistake he ever made. What's it sound like I'm saying? If I was saying what you said I was saying, then yeah, I said it. I was walking along, minding my own, and up pops one of them Brotherhoods. He yells, "Hand over that laser rifle, asshole!" So I hand it over, just to make him think I'm scared. But really I'm not. I never am. Before he knows what hit him, I draw my 11mm machine gun and bam, bam, right through the eye slit in his helmet. DOA.
Let's see, we have some power armor training, which could tell us this. Or we can do guns.
Then I guess this dumb fucker's armor must have been D-series or something. All I know is he died up real dead when I killed him, okay? Well, I grew up near Dayglow out west, so yeah, I grew a third nut that glows in the dark. I'll drop trout for you out on the trail after dark, sis. Let you see what you're working with. Know what I mean?
I kind of wonder if that might actually be true.
Hey, that's... Man, what a bitch! I was just being friendly! Yeah, whatever.
Okay. So we're now at level 2. Now the danger here is we may just go through levels far too fast, and maybe I should have set it back to just level 40 or so. 40 would be about right. 2 DLCs, each adding 5 levels. That would be the assumption there. And the good news here is, I guess, we can take any perk that we want as long as our levels combine. So we are going back at the same point here where we have to pick through a smaller selection, which is, this is nice. And it sure would have been easy for the game to straight up just pop up that prompt at level 50 and say, hey, do you want to reset back to level 1? Or we'll give you a perk at level 50 to reset you back to level 1. Like, none of the level 50 perks here do that. Yeah. Which, yeah. Your karma is reset to 0 in this one, but not your level. And so, yeah, we don't have to go through everything. Junk rounds. Let's see, craft ammo to reloading bench using alternative metals like scrap metal and tin cans might give us more usefulness as far as junk, which there's still a lot of junk. Whereas the rest of these may not be that useful. Faster reload. Yeah. Swift learner. 10% XP. This is a wasted perk. You don't want to take that. Because you could now with this cheat just keep on playing and keep on leveling up. So junk rounds is the one to take of the options.
That President Kimball nearly got killed at Hoover Dam. Now he knows how we feel about the NCR around here. You hear there was some kind of shootout
I hear
at
the
one of the
Legion's
casinos
fixing
on
to
the strip?
attack Hoover Dam.
Some people got
Good
killed
thing
or
I ain't
something.
there.
So then we'll talk to
You
Stella.
looking to join this here caravan? Look a little wet behind the ears, you ask me.
She's an interesting looking face, character design. No scars, no dirt, just kind of maybe a little too pale for the Mojave Desert.
Earning my keep. Jed hired me on as a caravan guard for this expedition of his. The work suits me. I've tried staying put in one place, but it never works out.
And I
Grew
think the
up in
voice
New Reno,
matches the
and
face
I
pretty
couldn't
well.
Put that snake pit behind me fast enough. Then I wound up wasting the prime of my life playing sheriff in Caliente, little town north on the 93. Talk about a pain in the ass. You ask me, best to keep moving. At least the scenery changes.
So, she's from New Reno. I kept expecting there to be a Reno city that maybe would get referenced at least.
Imagine New Vegas if there was no Mr. House-type fella keeping the peace. Then give everybody a gun and a jet addiction. Town's run by a bunch of crime families. No law to speak of. Make trouble and you wind up buried in Golgotha outside town. The scuzz factor's off the charts. Non-stop whoring and drugs. Couldn't walk down the street without getting asked to star in a porn movie. So I got my ass out of there while I still owned it.
They have video
Guess I
cameras?
figured the answer to every problem was rule of law. Naive, huh?
I've seen photography cameras in the game, but video cameras would require like playback options too, and I guess the drive-in theaters could project things, but I also haven't seen any working drive-in theaters in a Fallout game. So that feels like that was a throwaway line of dialogue where they didn't really care to double check if that would be canon or make any sense. We do see monitors around, but most of the monitors and computers you see are old world technology. I don't know why any of them are still working, and they are just text displays. The only things that we hear are radio stations, and we see a lot of people listening to radios, which would imply she should have said porn radio broadcast, not movie, which would be weirder. I'm not sure anything like that ever existed. It probably didn't, because at least in the United States, in the real world, the idea of broadcasting porn audio over the public airways would not be allowed by the FCC and the US government in general.
Place lived up to its name, that's for sure. When you got fresh water and a trickle of geothermic power, always be some gang of assholes wants to kill you for it. Spent more years and took more bullets than I care to admit protecting that hellhole from dangers within and without. If it wasn't the 80s or the white legs raiding,
if you watch her lips as she speaks,
trying to win an argument with a
you'll
shotgun.
notice
Got tired of shooting the
it
folks
doesn't
I was
quite
supposed to
really
protect.
match
So, now
what's
I do
being
this.
said if you were trying to read lips. It is just a combination of animations that are going through a loop as far as just opening the face and closing the face. And honestly, I don't think they ever perfected the hand animation idea of forming the right kind of facial lip movements for speech. And mostly what they have done nowadays is just gone straight to face capture, in which you have the actors face being scanned to show the mouth lip movements.
What's the difference? Raiders is raiders. Bunch of them swept into town and dragged off 2 working girls. Deputies and me gave pursuit straight into 80s territory. By the time we caught up with
Not
the girls,
paying much attention to what
left
she's
of 'em,
saying.
so we turned for home. Made it back to Caliente without further losses, but we was watched the whole way. Never seen so few people cover so much land. Goddamn creepy. If the 80s had wanted to kill us, we would have been dead. Guess they figured we weren't worth the trouble. Used to be they raided northeast of Caliente time to time. But then the Desert Rangers fell apart 10 years ago, absorbed into the NCR. Soon enough, the Whitelegs were swarming all over that stretch of I-15. Folks learned not to head north if they wanted to keep their scalps. Eventually, the Whitelegs destroyed the bridges across the Virgin River over in Arizona. End of discussion. Catch you another time, then.
It definitely does feel like if you were going to try to have Obsidian make another New Vegas sequel, it probably would be more interesting for it to be a prequel where you played as the Rangers and you weren't dealing with the NCR and Legion. But then if you set it too early as a prequel, it would either happen before the war happened or it would happen too close to the events of New Vegas.
Are you here to jar at me a while longer? Or are we ready to get this show on the road? Hang on. Ain't you the one that wiped out the Crimson Caravan's Vegas branch not too long ago? Ought to thank you for that. Knocking McLafferty out of the running gives Happy Trails a market to expand into.
Okay. So, let's just exhaust some of this. We probably have already heard this, but it would have been hours ago, so let's pretend like we haven't.
We're a smaller company out of Sacktown, up in the northern part of the NCR. We run some business through New Reno. They're on the Little Loop. Had a nice run to Salt Lake City too, but then we lost contact with New Canaan, and that went all to hell. Without New Canaan's mission in Zion, the only ways to Salt Lake City are down the old I-80 or up through Ogden. The highway's too risky. NCR's Rangers are so busy here in the Mojave, they don't have the manpower to keep the raiders off. Ogden's just too far. We'd lose more in travel expenses than we'd ever earn. Don't know much about the place, but I can tell you about the people. The New Canaanites were some kind of religious group from before the war. They control the old city of Ogden, a ways north of Zion, and they got themselves a nice defensible mission in the canyon itself. Or they did. They trade a fair bit with the tribes in Zion. Well, the ones that don't try to kill them anyways.
I'm wondering if any of this DLC
for their goods and
connects to
That's all I ever cared about.
the long,
But don't think that
the
just
Lonesome
because
Road
they're religious,
DLC.
that they're pacifists. They take care of their own, and they're damn fine marksmen too. Nope. Hence this caravan. If we don't make contact with the New Canaanites, Happy Trails might as well just shrivel up and die.
Okay.
Shoot. Well, I ain't never been inside myself. Did some trading with the New Canaanites from their mission there, but that was all on the outskirts. All the old ways in and out were destroyed after the war, but we got ourselves the location of a pass the New Canaanites use. That's our way in. That's why I wanted someone with a Pip-Boy on the caravan. The map will be helpful for checking the topography, keeping us on the trail.
So, in the other 2 DLCs, we got non-talking companions. I wonder if we're going to end up with a human talking companion this time.
Well, it ain't good, I'll tell you that. It's not like the Mojave or the NCR. Hell, even Arizona under Caesar is safer. You got raiders all over the damn place. Tribes of degenerates that'll eat you as soon as look at you. Regional warlords, the works. Not too many decent places to stop and trade. New Canaan's one of the only ones left I know about.
So it seems like we're going to be fighting just a lot of people, which, okay, that might work very nicely.
They're about what you'd expect. Crazy, jacked up on chems, violent as hell, and not too bright. The worst of the 80s, but we won't be passing through their turf on this run. That's right. The folks that lived in Zion before the war, they didn't just get a little savage. They're downright feral. Most of them don't even speak English anymore. You've got to get yourself a new Canaanite translator to talk to them. The ones you really gotta watch out for are the Whitelegs from the Great Salt Lake. They'll attack just about anyone that ain't one of theirs. Dangerous enough we won't be going near them if we can help it.
There
I've got
were
no desire for my head to
some
decorate
warlords
some little
in
gas
some of the
station for its
DLC
walls,
of
thanks.
Fallout 3. We would have expected
Shoot.
to run into some more of those. And do I want to play Caravan with this guy? No. So let's go.
Are you now? You know we ain't coming back this way for a good long while now, right? And you know about the weight limit. I don't want no whining about old Mr. Masterson. I left my one-of-a-kind plasma cannon back at base. Can we go back for it? You sure you're ready now?
Let's ask about the weight limit.
You ain't never been to Zion, have you? We'll be passing through a whole mess of narrow slot canyons and high rough passes. A big pack will get you wedged in like a super mutant crawling through a storm drain, and too much weight will kill you in the thin air.
Okay. Let's go to
You
Zion.
sure about that this time? We ain't coming back for a while.
It's interesting that it's not popping up a prompt, it's just having a person ask you, which is very different from the other two DLCs.
Well, all right then. Let's get moving. We got a long road ahead of us.
So we just pay him. And we have a whole load sequence here, which that seems nicer. This seems like this might be a better
The paths
polished.
we're following are slow going, so you might as well keep your ears open and listen to what old Jed has to say.
It's
A
crazy.
few decades back, folks in the NCR started to hear about a community in northern Utah called New Canaan. Didn't know much about them, except that they were religious folks, sent out missionaries to talk to the tribes. We've seen our share of cults, but the New Canaanites, they were honest traders. Good fighters, too. Raiders wouldn't tangle with them. But then, the Legion appeared in Arizona. I reckon you know all about them. Turns out Caesar's first war chief, the Malpace Legate, was a New Canaanite, Joshua Graham. Legend goes that Graham was the meanest, toughest son of a bitch in the whole damn Legion. The New Canaanites wouldn't talk about him. They were ashamed. Guess I can't blame them. Well, at Hoover Dam, the Malpace Legate finally met his match. Hanlon and Oliver kicked his New Canaanite butt right back over the river. Caesar had to make an example for the others, to show them that even at the highest level, failure wouldn't be tolerated. He had Graham covered in pitch, lit on fire, and thrown into the Grand Canyon. People say he didn't even scream on the way down. Not long after, some of the slaves and tribals started to talk. Said Graham wasn't dead. Shouldn't have been any surprise. All this talk bothered Caesar, so he forbade anyone from speaking his name. Wanted to erase Joshua Graham from history. He got his wish. Joshua Graham disappeared, and in his place came legends of the burned man walking the wastes. Probably just a tribal ghost story. But New Canaan's been silent for a long time. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe the Malpace Legate is dead. Or maybe Joshua Graham did crawl out of that canyon and finally found his way back home.
So this is all going to be
people.
about
Been a long couple of weeks. But here we
Graham
are.
and the Burn
Zion.
Man.
I know your feet hurt. I know you're tired. But But I need everyone's mind on the trail ahead.
Ain't the trail ahead worries me, Jed. Those descents we made through that slot
Now I
canyon
can't
back
walk,
up there.
but I can move the
Ain't
camera.
no way we're getting back out the way we come. And then what?
God damn it, Stella heard you the first time. And the 15th, too. The new Canaanites will know a way. And if they don't, we've got the maps on our friend's Pip-Boy over there. Enough lollygagging. Get moving. And keep an eye out for tribals.
Sorry to bother you with reality, old Jed. Who cares if we can't get back out the way we come? That's not a problem.
So what I'm noticing here immediately is it just doesn't feel like it is as big of a yellow environment. I don't know who's shooting from where.
Might as well be waving at us.
Stay low, people! Stay low!
Here I come. I was a sheriff once,
Yep.
goddammit.
I've got like a sniper rifle and I'm not able to hit any of these. Interesting. So did anybody survive that? Nope. Here we have a white leg. Let's not devour him. Here we have this guy, our leader. I'm going to immediately become over encumbered, I'm sure. Let's just compile all of the equipment into one duffel bag, would be my guess. So Ricky not coming would have maybe saved his life. We now have that foreknowledge. And I just question whether that plays any differently. Yeah. Meanwhile, what am I supposed to do with all this? This is 393, so this is 140. So of the options, the 10mm submachine gun is the best gun to have. And then hunting rifle versus varmint rifle. I think the varmint rifle is 19. Hunting rifle is way more valuable. Tomahawk is a new weapon. And then we have leather armor at 50, troublemaker outfit at 8, prospector's outfit. We will get that to maximum since that's a new item. Vault 22 jumpsuit's not going to be worth too much, but I'm going to probably not want to get rid of it either. We can get rid of this one, that one, that one. And I guess I don't want to drop anything at the moment because I don't have a fast travel location, I think, on the map. Okay, with the Explorer perk, we can see what this is all about. There is a whole bunch of locations and kind of a more central hub location. I would expect the White Legs to be some kind of like Native American type tribe from the looks of them, but I also kind of wonder 'Cause they might not just be some reference to like Mormons. Hard to tell one way or the other. Yeah. And so from the looks of it, this is a sniper's alley. You're just going to work your way through these sections. Yeah, I think you're just going to work through these sections and be shot at, collect small amounts of resources, it would be my guess. Some pretty water here. The entire environment does look fairly interesting. Can I reach a box? Ooh. Can I get out of here without falling to my doom? That's very cinematic, certainly. You've got an interesting looking plant floating in air there. It may be a case where food is extremely scarce in this desert-like area. My guess is that this is yet another bit of DLC that was technically made by a third-party developer. Can you just jump down there and splash in the water, I wonder? Probably not. Will we ever actually get down there? I don't know, it looks like that would be a lot. Also can't get up on the rocks. I've already seen some cinematicness, so wouldn't be too crazy if we walked on the bridge and the bridge blew up. I definitely would have appreciated if the game looked a little bit more like this the whole time. Yeah. I just don't think that they're...
Boy, white legs don't leave survivors often. You're some kind of lucky, let me tell you. You came from outside, didn't you? From the civilized lands.
Look at his eyes just flickering.
Joshua will want to hear
the
about
visuals.
this.
Interesting.
Joshua Graham. He leads our tribe. Thanks to him, the dead horses are strong and safe from our enemies. He'll want to talk to anyone coming up from Southways. Guess that means just you now. Come, I can take you to him.
Okay, let's go.
Good sists. We head east then. Joshua is at our tribe's camp in the Eastern Virgin.
Okay, save. Follow Chalk. He'll give you... Follows Chalk has given you the well-stacked Cairns pack, while Falls Chalk is in your party. Reaching any summit in Zion Valley, such as ranger stations, will reveal all nearby map markers and inspire a heightened state of awareness plus 3 perception per minute for 3 minutes. I think he's just kicked the body to the edge. There. Okay. Thought it was just going to fast travel me again. There's a level of life here that I kind of wish was the case in the Mojave too. Just more plants, more things you can actually pick up. I almost wonder if I'm supposed to take pictures of this, but why not? Let's do that. We have our camera. Smile for the camera. Okay. Was that the gun I was using? I think it was. I'll come down here to find it. There's nothing here. Are we on the right quest? Yeah.
Hold up. See that log over there? Take a closer look. There might be some good stuff tucked in there.
Okay, so hollow logs are now like foot lockers. Cool. So the problem with his perk, though, is that I needed to effectively lose the perk of the Explorer perk first. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense. This is an attempt at doing something like Far Cry. And I guess it's an interesting question whether Far Cry 1 would have already been out by the time this game was released. I suspect it probably had been. And certainly climbing towers and exposing more of the map became a very standard thing to happen in open worlds. It gives you something to do and a reason for the map to be as big as it is. It's not particularly the best amount of entertainment, in my opinion. What I also am noticing here is that you're not getting any of that Fallout Old World experience. And so this pretty much could have taken place in a completely different game. We're not seeing any nuked places. We're not seeing any technology. I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't a, wow, the Happy Trails Caravan Guard. Got a piece of them flung all the way over here. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't find any computers, if we don't find any robots, if we simply are left with a nice, I guess this is Mesa. That's what you would describe it as.
Follow this path for a while. Nice view of the river.
There's a lot of room for redundancy here. And see, unlike the great cons, this feels like
the shadow of a ghost.
we're gonna fight Yorguais, which we saw that was in Fallout 3.
That was some kind of lucky. Guess that one was all full of gecko, eh? Don't get used to it, though. Yaoguai are plenty mean as a rule.
So the question is going to come down to, is this an appropriate depiction of what a Native American tribe might be in a Fallout universe? Or is this just going to come off as an insulting stereotype? And that is often the problem, is that while some people some people are very happy for any representation at all, some people also get upset that the representations are stereotypical or always negative or even always positive. More in 2024, we're more around the levels of a lot of extra positive depictions that become hurtful in a accidental way, in that say that certain people, certain classes of people, certain types of people are always being depicted as positive, and then there's a pushback of
You're going the wrong way.
the unrealistic nature of that. Yeah. I have no idea what Joshua Graham is going to be like. He may be completely different from what we've heard, or he may be exactly from what we've heard. So I want to go this way. Well, the guy.
You can take the path north here if you want, or head east over the ridge. There's a nice view from the top of that cliff if you want to look.
There is a danger here that these may not really be your traditional Native Americans. They probably aren't. It would, but it's probably close enough. Let's see, we've got some new signs here that are indicating climbing paths. Although I don't think I can just hike up the side of this wall.
Keep headed north, around this rock pile.
I still have the Wild Wastelands perk, and so unless this is still a case that I'm just playing the game on very easy and that's causing too little of interactions, which in this case I feel like that's not the case. It does just kind of feel like there's a lot of walking happening here. Let's see, this is called the spine. I'd like to get up there. Maybe you have to climb. Maybe we're gonna get some kind of climbing equipment. That would be intriguing. I've never seen a game throw out that idea, but if there were cracks in the wall like this and you had climbing gear, maybe you could walk up to cracks in the wall like that and then climb automatically like a ladder. Although nowadays there's just as good of a chance that they would invent a whole new climbing mechanic and make the player pull the left and right triggers to climb all the way up. The most interesting thing that could happen here, I think, is if this companion was straight up lying about Graham, and Graham is just always claimed to be the leader of certain tribes, and he's just this boogeyman. You would want Graham to show up at some point, but a simple quest of go meet Graham could certainly be expanded upon if it turns out that
Follow
there is
the
no
old
Graham.
road south. Nearly there.
We have smaller of those Xander roots, and I assume this is the DLC that introduced the Xander root. I'm playing extremely thoroughly here, probably for no great reason other than potentially mapping out the entirety of this DLC. That's going to be where the challenge lies, is can you make there be a reason to run around and find all these different spots, or find all these flowers. Oh. The game's frame rate has just dropped massively. and I'm hearing audio. So let's go ahead and make a safety save of what sounds like water. Ah. I do believe the game just decided to make it rain, even though I'm not seeing any rain particles. And I do believe that has dropped the frame rate like crazy, having a whole storm, which we've had no other part of the game have the frame rate drop severely consistently. Apparently we're supposed to kill 10 Yao Guais. My gun is just incredibly overpowered. And our follower seems to be strong enough to take out a Yao Guai himself. So I may very well just need to
Why do you
wait.
carry all those bottle caps anyway? They some kind of view up here, eh? If you know how to look, you can spot all kinds of landmarks from up here. Look, I'll show you.
So it doesn't seem like there's anything here more. And so if I didn't have the Explorer perk, I probably would have just exposed this, and this, just in this general area. I want to wait an hour. Wait another hour. Wait another hour. Wait another hour. How long is this gonna rain? I wonder if this is supposed to be scripted. Let's go and talk to him.
What can I tell you? Mostly it's the mountain bighorners. Whole herd of them up on the cliffs there. Usually they're not too aggressive, but lately, whew. My guess is one of the calves got lost somewhere along the way. Bighorners are communal. One missing calf, and the whole herd gets ornery. If that calf doesn't turn up soon, they might very well come down into the valley and attack the camp. Yeah? Hey, thanks. Most of the hunters don't listen when I tell them the problem. Just one thing. Try not to kill any bighorners if you can, yeah? You'll drive the herd off and we'll have to range farther on our hunts. You might try luring the baby out with some banana yucca. These bighorners go crazy for the stuff. That's great. I'll help any way I can.
So some kind of side quest. Bighorners of the Eastern Virgin. I'd assume this is Virginia reference. Start a new quest by talking to him.
What can I tell you? White legs. Nasty bunch.
Seems like the frame rate has finally
They've been
fixed
raiding
itself.
deeper into Zion ever since New Canaan was wiped out. That's what Joshua said. Whitelegs came down from Great Salt Lake in force. Fell on New Canaan before they could mount a defense. Joshua found some of the survivors led by a man named Daniel. Most of them have fled the valley. But Daniel stayed on with the Sorrows tribe. He and Joshua have been arguing over whether to stand and fight the Whitelegs, or take the Sorrows and the Dead Horses out of the valley. That's the weird part. Normally, the Whitelegs keep to the Great Salt Lake. I don't know what brought them down this far south. What can I tell you?
Let's exhaust all the dialogue here.
Our advanced scouts leave chalk signs to mark places rich with game. I'm not a full scout yet, so I follow the marks and guide the hunters. Dead horses mark ourselves to commemorate our hunts. When a hunter takes a great beast, or when a youth goes on his first hunt, he gets a tattoo. If it wasn't for Joshua, the dead horses would still be the whipping boys of the Zion Valley. He taught us how to hold our
It's funny, a lot of
territory,
this
to
words
protect
he's
ourselves.
using are
He guided us away from Caesar
kind of
and showed
more
us how Caesar would have
complicated
destroyed us.
than you would expect.
Little bit. I met some of their missionaries a few times, but I've never been to their city. Joshua could tell you more. Or Daniel, I imagine. We decorate our clubs with them to honor Joshua Graham. They were the weapons of his old tribe, so now they are ours. Can't say they seem that dangerous to me, but Joshua says they won the West. Only a little. I was very young. He was different. Prouder, yes, but harder, crueler, more driven. Really, I was terrified of him. We all were. When he came back, I almost didn't believe he was the same man. He was humbler. He wanted to protect, not destroy.
Interesting. So it seems like he may have had a change of heart.
Well, because they're our enemies. What else would we do? They take our land, they kill our scouts, they poach our hunting grounds. We came up in the land of the dead horse.
It's a lot of dialogue here.
Why the back when folks
So
called it that,
why waste all the
I've no
time
hint.
talking to
We raided.
other
We
people
fought.
to start
We
the
lost.
quest,
Our enemies
then
drove us
have
back
them
into
all
Zion,
killed?
and we would have died if it hadn't been for Joshua. Joshua and his Caesar. When Joshua first came to us, he was servant to a man he called Caesar. He led his master's armies, and we were ready to follow him into war. Then he lost his master's army to a tribe called NCR, the Sunset People.
The
When he
NCR.
returned, he was as you saw him. Burned, broken, but changed. He led us away from Caesar. Led us to our own destiny in Zion. Ask away.
So it's still a little bit to ask.
He's been the chief of our tribe since he came back to the valley. He went off to the civilized world years ago to fight a war. That didn't go well.
Let's just ask the
see
first
his face,
question.
You'll understand. I don't know. He doesn't talk about it much. Maybe. But how can two civilized tribes fight over something as small as a dam? Really? That's... my gods. Must be some mighty civilized folks who built that. Now you sound like Joshua. He always tells me that tribal life is better. That I should stay here and forget the outside world. Ask away. Go with fortune, friend.
Okay. So the frame rate's back down now that it is no longer raining. And I hope that doesn't happen too much. But, yeah. Now I do question whether being over encumbered could somehow be made even worse. I don't know how they could make it worse, but I wouldn't be surprised if the game figured out a way. Looking at the map and looking at the world, it is a nice big map from the feels of it. Big enough, like some of the areas in Borderlands 1, some of the areas that you might completely forget about. And so it's really going to come down to just, of each of these fast travel locations, is there going to be something interesting at them? And of the quest, are there going to be enough quest reasons to travel around to all these locations? Or is the main quest really just going to put me from like this spot to maybe somewhere around this spot to maybe somewhere around this spot, maybe somewhere in the middle, and then back around again? We may go around 2 or 3 times, but some of these other sections maybe you could easily miss, and this definitely feels like this may just be the end section. I also question whether I should really trust our companion or Joshua, and maybe Joshua is controlling the white legs. I would assume the white legs sound like they might be a reference to Mormons, but I bet they won't be even, I bet there won't be any reference like that at all. I also kind of feel like this whole system of being able at higher spots to spot things yeah, if I was to fall down,
There can't really be a place where people go into big buildings and give away all their money just to watch someone flip paper squares on a table.
so this has a bit of a feel like Big Mountain, if Big Mountain was bigger, and if there was... Alright, so why did the frame rate just drop like crazy when I shot that guy? It's like every particle effect is causing massive frame stutter, and maybe I should just exit out of the game.
You see the dead sentries? Shamans say our enemies' souls are trapped in them. But Joshua says it shows we're serious about fighting whitelegs.
So the answer is question, no. I don't see dead sentries. Okay, I guess that's the dead sentries we're talking about. Heads on spikes, which that feels very much in line with Kaiser. It's not the worst thought, though. Even if you're not actually killing anybody, it's not the worst thought to have people think you're killing people. These are gecko hides. These are just geckos.
Hang on, you're going the wrong way.
Am I? So it seems to me I would really like to go and check out this location, but we'll do that later.
See those handprints? Dead horses and sorrows mark them on taboo places.
Interesting. The level up system does not pause for when he is
Places
talking.
from back when? Good thing for you, I don't buy into that stuff.
Looking at the map, as this gets worse and worse on the frame rate. We have a lad's life. We can pick up a bunch of stuff. We have an interesting building in that we are not going inside a building. And this is supposed to be some kind of park ranger's office. You can't take the clipboard off the wall, though. Right. Alright, well this is getting intolerable, so let's exit out and just assume that the game would have crashed at some point. And let's just load back in. Yep. It is definitely a different kind of issue. Can't really call it a crash when you're just having massive frame rate drops. I wonder if that is in part because of the visuals looking so different. I wonder if now we're going to load into the game and it is going to look completely different because the visuals crashed when it loaded in this new DLC area, and it was supposed to be more sepia tone and yellow and feel more like the rest of the Mojave. Alright, well, it's nighttime right now, and it does seem like there might be a little bit more darkness and more just detail to the visuals. So yeah, I don't know. Let's go ahead and make some cactus water and gecko steak since we can. Here we have a toilet which we can drink out of, refill our health. Already starting to see repetition on the animation. Okay, so it seems like this curves downward. I don't know if it is the case that the water is just not radioactive at all, which it seems like maybe that is the case. Which
Way I heard it, salt upon wounds butchered everyone in New Canaan and nailed their corpses to the cliffs.
So, yeah, this may again just feel like a game that's could have been anywhere else. We're seeing a boat and Nuka-Colas and things like that, but no
These
radiation
paintings show the
playing a
dead
role.
horses' victories against other tribes. Lots more of them since Joshua came to us.
Alright, so we've got a fish here. Can we grab the fish? No. Can we bats the fish? No. I'm thinking these fish do not die, and so they are just much like the birds. Well, the birds do die, but the birds play very little role in the game. Really shouldn't exist. Now my concern is that this would end up being a situation where the little rest station here, we are now over encumbered. Saw that coming. Here we have a different kind of healing and cooking spot. Is there anything we can really do? It's 2 cleavers together, or 7. Hunting rifle with a singleton shotgun. Shovels. Seemingly high in number of shovels. Okay. I increased my strength, by the way, so now I do have 240 I can hold. And imagine I'll take perks while I level up if I can get them that would even let me hold more. Where are we going? Like, you just, I guess, have to follow this river.
Now. Watch out for traps in the water. Got to keep the white legs out somehow, eh?
Traps in the water. Okay, I can see a bear trap. That gives me 2 XP, which, since we've reset our level, is actually a reasonable amount of XP to worry about. I do think, though, as soon as I finish one quest, I may just level up 4 or 5 times. It's very colorful. Very full of life. Definitely feels different. I guess it's okay for DLC to feel different. I don't think I'd ever really complain about that. Game is doing a kind of poor job of having me keep my eyes upward, though. So you walk through this whole section and it tells you to look down for bear traps. For all I know, there could be just writing on the wall that says Kaiser is here and going to kill you, or this is a trap. Like, that is the problem, of course, with having mines or bear traps or anything where you need to look downward. And it's not like there's a perk where you wouldn't activate bear traps. I don't think there's a perk that where you wouldn't activate mines, which that could be helpful. Like, this game definitely needs a New Game Plus experience, though. Like, I'll do all the DLC here, and then I'll probably be below level 50 for a second time. And any special perks or items I've used.
Feels good to be doing some actual scouting, not just following.
Let's see. So it looks like we could go and check out this cave. Let's see if this is a big cave or a small cave. I think I just triggered a trap. Always do. So that time that was 2 shotguns shooting at you at the same time. And we have this red cave fungus. So we would want to collect as much of that as possible. I'll just see if that is all there is to this. Proximity mine. Having to smash the button quite a bit to pick up the cave fungus. Okay, well I can see there's a tripwire trap. You can see a skeleton with a named gun.
Long is great. Well
This
then,
guy is not
let's get to trading.
carrying much, so let's give him some stuff. See what he particularly would like to wear and what he'd particularly like to hold. Seemingly didn't change his outfit too much. I would assume he just cannot use guns or will not use guns. Yeah, this looks like this might be a fairly large area. Okay, well then let's go over here and check this section.
The spitter plants and the green monster men aren't native to Zion. Wonder where they came from.
Green Monster Man and Spitter Plants sound like they're from that vault with the Genesis device. It was the green mushrooms before that you could collect. Not red ones, unless I'm just completely misremembering. It was definitely the glowing green mushrooms. These mines, I think, have a different texture on them, also making them more difficult to see. So this is Eastern Virginia, and activated a tripwire trap, and we've got our guy.
I'm not dead.
got blown up, floating in the water. And then we get to see it very poorly reanimated from being a ragdoll. I guess the assumption there, well, I kind of imagine that Obsidian / ZeniMax / whoever you want to blame, Bethesda, just didn't care, first of all, but I could see their justification being that, another one, that there's a teddy bear in a mine. That there's a high chance he wouldn't be looking at the spot where your companion was killed. The fact that they can be killed at all is weird. It would make a lot more sense that they just take the image and make sound effects but don't ever actually hit 0. It's weird that it fades out and fades in.
Bet they don't have anything as nasty as Yao Guai out where you come from, huh?
Tiny little things. Trying to pick them all up. Can't cook anything else. Sacred root. Okay. Workbench crate. Might be something interesting. If all of a sudden everything you put in that crate was secretly teleported to every other workbench crate. Oh. Caravan lunch. Did we get everything in this room? Because it does seem like there's quite a lot. And that feels like that's supposed to be a grave, but it isn't being treated like a grave. And here we have a terminal, which, guess if we sat here and actually read this, this might tell us of the story of somebody living in this cave after the bombs fell in 2077. These computers potentially could lie very easily. They could be saying that the bombs fell in 2077, and they could have fake journal entries, but bombs could have actually fallen at a completely different time. So that adds 2 notes. Okay. Auto-inject super stim packs, first of all. Auto-inject stim packs make a lot of sense. Efficiently recycling items still make a lot of sense. Let's see. Optimized energy cells. Weapon repair kits. We can make a green gecko hide belt. Or gecko hide belt. Probably better to make a green gecko hide belt than just a gecko hide belt. Not sure any of it really matters. There's a lot of stuff to craft. None of that was something new or interesting. What I was kind of expecting is maybe either finding a cosmic knife or start to take the path of crafting some of the other items. What other items am I talking about, though, in particular? I'm not seeing it. I thought there was a whole way in which you could upgrade a outfit, armor. I'm not seeing it. So yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking about. Unless it was down here. Nope. Then we also ended up with a couple notes, which maybe that will play a bigger role. Eastern Virginia, over encumbered.
Well then, let's get to trading.
Compliance regulator. Sounds like a named gun. Have a lot of stuff here. And probably just have a lot of garbage items too. See if there's an actual path, or is this intentionally blocked off? Intentionally blocked off. So maybe at some point we will be able to go through this. But at the moment I think the game is telling us we can't go that way. Now obviously what we're going to need is a shopkeeper, because I've got a lot of stuff, none of which is perfectly synchronizing with the crafting requirements.
So I finally get to explore all those taboo places without the other scouts yelling at me? Can't wait.
This is very green. Okay. Head this direction.
Here we are. Joshua's just ahead there, in the Angel Cave.
So, it definitely seems to me like I was thinking this might be a bigger location, but it isn't. We're gonna have clay pots, which those are really small, and everything here is just stealing. Here we have two people fighting each other, practicing, and we see what kind of weapons they seem to use, or physical. Is this the Angel Cave? Looks like it is. And we have another character doing push-ups. And if this was Skyrim, you would do some kind of letter tanning here. At a certain level, I guess this is a good excuse for them to reuse some of the elements of Skyrim by having this be a less quote-unquote civilized society. So we're gonna talk to Joshua. Now, it seems like the visuals change every time we enter a new area.
Hoi. Auslander Zuka Joshua Graham.
We have an intelligence of 7.
You know our tongue. Smart, Auslander. Joshua in high place.
Seems like it's kind of a
you show
pig
respect,
Latin
Utman.
type.
Joshua is greatest warrior. You show him no respect. He show you thunder and fire. You wise for Auslander.
Go ahead and put our gun away. So, Disciple of Canaan
Good.
seems to be just a title. 2 bears, high fiving. He's got like a giant death claw weapon.
Good.
Well, I ended up somehow way higher than I should have been there. Collecting probably way too much cave fungus. It's kind of funny, the bricks feel out of place. But all of this really does just feel not very...
There can't really be a place where people go into big buildings and
not
give
very
away all
Fallout.
their money just to watch someone flip paper
So
squares
clearly
on
it would make some sense if there was more sections like this in the Mojave main game, interspersed between more Fallout, traditional Fallout type layouts. Like ideally what you might want is something where this entire map is underground, under the Mojave, and there's just several spots where you enter this area and there's just a whole sub-society. Or you just take some of those very boring sections of the Mojave where there's basically nothing. There is a firebomb here, and somebody's been crushed under that rock. I don't know what a firebomb is though. Might be just a drink. Cave fungus though, not an issue. And we've got Joshua Graham all in bandages, which the bandages certainly leaves the door open to
We should have given you a better welcome on your first
him
visit
not
to Zion.
actually being Joshua
From what I
Graham.
hear, the Whitelegs beat us to it. Whitelegs seem to be the only visitors we have these days. And I wouldn't have expected anyone from the Mojave to come looking for us.
Interesting gun
And
animation
you're
he's
a
doing.
courier, no less. Not the one I was expecting, but I suppose he wouldn't have come with a caravan. I don't know if you were close to the other members of your group, but you have my sympathy. I pray for the safety of all.
Again, they're covering his mouth so they don't have to
even
animate it.
Gentiles. But we can't expect God to do all the work.
Let's see. Let's ask the first question.
The dead horses are capable scouts. Nothing passes into or out of Zion without my hearing of it.
I don't know why he's loading all these guns when it doesn't seem like any of the his tribe know how to use guns.
Happy trails. I remember. They were good friends. I have bad news for your employers. New Canaan was destroyed, its citizens scattered. All because of the Whitelegs. And Caesar, of course. The Whitelegs want to join the Legion. Caesar's rite of passage is the destruction of the New Canaanites. Almost assuredly because of me. The good news is that we can help you find your way back. Daniel, one of the other New Canaanites, has made many maps of the region. The bad news is that we can't help you right now. Not with everything that's going on.
Let's see. I'm not gonna leave without offering help. What can I do?
You're a good neighbor to us. We all go through periods of darkness. In such times, we can turn to the Lord. But it's good to have friends. Daniel and I need pre-war tools to help us navigate beyond Zion. Should we need to evacuate, these instruments will be vital to us. Normally, we would have some of the dead horses or sorrows look for them. But many pre-war buildings in the valley are taboo. They won't go inside.
The default thing here would be to say I'll see what I can do, but let's ask the taboo.
The sorrows believe in a spirit that lives in the caves. Say the spirit punished them once for trespassing. They put special marks around the cave entrances to keep people out. It doesn't work on the Whitelegs, of course, but the dead horses are spooked.
Okay.
Thank you. Follow Chalk can help you find your way around the valley. He's inexperienced, but he knows enough of our language to ignore the taboos about pre-war buildings.
So, tourist trap is now our quest. And the game says he's Joshua Graham, so we have to kind of believe he's Joshua Graham. He's got some crafting items. Of course, the other option certainly would have been to... Interesting, we can take this. And we can take this. Of course, if you just wanted to play as a bad guy, you could have just shot him. Right, so that opens up several quests. This is the last one that we already know about, and it's right where we are. This one wants us to go, I guess, to some other locations. Search for Zion General Store for 5 little scout lunch boxes. Switch to Zion Ranger Station for a medical supply kit. Interesting. Why is the map pointing to the Southern Passage, though, to do that? Do I have to go back? Switch to Zion Fishing Lodge. Really does just feel like every single quest is pointing me in the wrong place. Okay, search the ruins of the crashed scout bus. I think is the first thing to get a compass. Yeah, I think that's what's really happening here. Is that we need a compass to point us in the right direction, otherwise the map is just going to point us in the wrong direction. And I fast traveled here. Kind of in a bad spot. Let's put me back. There. So we're at a higher spot. Survival caches. So I guess we're looking for all the survival caches.
Why do you carry all those bottle caps anyway? Well then, let's get to trading.
Well, he seems to be willing to adapt into different kinds of armor. I'm a little surprised by that. Right. So two choices here. Either we jump in the water, which let's see how that works. Not well. It worked, but I don't think the game really intended for that to work like that. Okay. This is the Eastern Virgin. I guess that's what it is and has always been, because that's like an old world sign. Okay, so run back through all of this. And I imagine my companion is just not going to follow up until I go inside of a location and leave again. Imagine he's stuck at the top of that location. I guess that highlights the rigidness of you have to be outside the fast travel, even though some fast travel locations outside don't really make any sense. Yeah. That to accommodate sticking to those rules, they had you go to that upper plateau area. Joshua seems like a nice enough guy. I don't know if I really trust it or believe it, but at least he's not immediately kidnapping you or forcing you to do something. There's definitely an alternate way that story could have gone, in which you would have just been captured and they put a slave collar on you. Okay. So what we're trying to do is figure out what I'm supposed to do with the banana yucca. And I may just need the compass. Anyways. Trying to find the calf. All I can really do is drop a banana yucca or place it if there's some kind of interactive surface. Don't think they expect me to jump. And here's our companion running around from who knows where. Okay. So how are we gonna do this? Drop. Let's just drop one. Let's see. That seems like that's not the move. So I guess I'm probably just wandering past some other big horners first, which that would make some sense. It would give me opportunities to accidentally kill big horners. So they're creating a interesting layout here where the big horners are acting a lot like goats, just high up in the trees in the mountains.
Finally get to explore all those places without the other scouts yelling at me. Can't wait.
Drop a banana yucca and see if that does anything. I think I'm going the right direction. What I don't think is going to happen here, though, is I don't think this is going to be a deep spiritual experience. I don't think we're going to smoke some peace pipes and go on a spirit's quest or anything like that. Which one's the mother? I have no idea. Is the cat following me? Or did it decide to stop following me? It is still following me, but it seems like it only follows me for a time. Then it stops. So you have to feed it several. Which, okay, that's doable. Just make sure we're going the right direction. Yeah, I imagine this is all just going to be fairly surface level as far as the experience. And you can see how the game really wants. Return the calf? Why would I keep the calf? Like a big horner companion. Might be interesting, but not that.
What can I tell you?
Not that interesting.
Whew, glad to hear it. That'll be some happy mama, huh? Thank you. Really, it means a lot to me.
So we finish a quest, and apparently we get some bullets, which is weird.
Best place to look for back when stuff is the taboo places. Sorrows and dead horses don't go in there. And even whitelegs don't like them much. Lots of them around the valley. Places built by the folk from back when. You'll know them when you see them. Scouts mark them with handprints. The handprints are a warning to keep out. Angry ghosts live inside. Not that I believe in angry ghosts. They're just spooky old places. Right?
So the taboo places are obviously the balance to make this feel like more Fallout, and they also are obviously what's going to push us.
Back when places to choose from. But for the things we need, best to start with the really closed up places. 3 I know of. A building down by the river called a fishing lodge. The old ranger station in the northwest, and the general store right by it. Closer to home might be something you can salvage from the place where the little ones fell, just west of the Eastern Virgin. In the river, there's a twisted pile of metal and glass, all full of bones. Joshua says they were scouts, but they looked awful small to me.
Boy
Lots of that
Scouts,
old
Girl
stuff.
Scouts.
How do you say it? Electronics. Maybe you could use some of it. Ask away. Go with fortune, friend.
Okay. So, can we fast travel to the Southern Passage? Is that even where we want to go? I don't know if this is really where I want to go. Inherently, like the Lonesome Road DLC,
The spitter plants
I
and
guess.
the green monster men aren't native to Zion.
we are just
Wonder where
gonna
they came from.
toss a bunch of equipment in the first container we find, which I guess would be this one. Now, suppose
Let's get to trading.
this is helping me do something better this time, in that I can take, without even messing around too much, I can take all of the weapons and sort it here. And then actually what I probably would want to do is sort all of the outfits here also. Then it would be a matter of just this third duffel bag could be all of the items that we're not going to really engage with. So, food, for instance. Just throw all of the food in this third pile. And I guess miscellaneous also in the third pile. And I'm just thinking off the top of my head as to how I really want to do this to start off with, but I think this might work. We haven't run into any scorpions yet. Okay. And then miscellaneous. Okay. The stuff in the middle here should be the confirmed garbage stuff that we're not going to do anything with. Ever. And I think that probably is going to be most crafting items. Yeah. So I probably haven't sorted this out perfectly. I need, it would be better to have a couple more inventory things. Basically I need about 10 inventory. Containers. That would work really well. One in which I could take all of the garbage weapons and keep it in a different pile than all the possibly good weapons. I feel like tomahawks may also be items that are just throwable. We'll have to figure out if we'll just have to figure out if there's I don't know, I lost my train of thought there. I keep doing that. Too many words in front of my face the whole time. So you have kind of a dark storyline going on. Let's see. Seriously missed that? This game didn't give me any warning about what level I should be at, so I have to wonder if I was supposed to be at a fairly low warning. I mean, a fairly low level. I don't think I'm gonna get... Oh. Kill 10 Yogwai. That wasn't a Yogwai, that was a bighorn. A lot of these locations and a lot of these quests may be fairly small. Lunchbox, toys, scale down, skeletons. So yeah, that's dark. Where did you come from? I don't know. To just have a bunch of dead kids. Compass sensor module. Alright. And so now we have level 2 abilities. So the choice is, what do we want to take now? While wearing lighter armor or no armor, you walk 10 times faster. That might be nice. And that may be our best bet. Other ones would be increasing accuracy. 50% damage on mutated insects like rad roaches, giant mantis, and rad scorpions. Don't see enough of that for that to matter. And I think these are the only ones that are new. Reloading faster might be nice, and it would probably apply to everything. The Black Widow perk, on the other hand, might be interesting. Of course, a lot of the dialogue choices for Black Widow are probably already out of the realm of possibility. Let's see. So do I want travel light? Probably. Yeah, I guess I do. Take travel light. And there's a lot of cherry bombs. And a lot of toy cars and a lot of lunch boxes. Let's see. Repair the compass, or repair with parts, or take it with you. Okay, and so I guess that is just the thought here, is that if my repair was low enough, and that was like 30, so your repair would have been at 30 almost always. Let's just see if we can drag this gecko out of the way. So I'm trying to pick up the cherry bomb and got to get the cursor directly on it. I definitely get the thought pattern here. You want to give the player a compass. What's a way that somebody, or a reason somebody would have a compass? Oh, they would be Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, Scouts of some sort. So then let's have the compass left. It seems to me like there would have been a less kids dying way to do that, though. You could have just had a compass be a treasured item by somebody. Then you would have to go trade or fight the person for the compass. So I guess the idea here is we don't know what kind of bus this is. And I guess the other question to ask is, did the bus crash because of the nukes falling, or did the bus just crash for a completely different reason? Because Fallout really has not ever established itself as a story where you just find dead bodies of people from other incidences other than the nukes falling. There's our second survival cache, I would suspect, but doesn't seem to agree with me. Okay. Now that we have a compass, we can see where we're going. And we can see that there's 2 places to go, so we will go that way. And we'll run into a whole bunch of other areas. Less radio stations. I definitely am happy I made the decision to reset my level down to level 1. I think that makes the game way more interesting. I'm low on items and weight at the moment because I just dropped off things. So far so good. Biggest complaint would be having you talk to a bunch of people that don't matter at the beginning just to have them all killed, and then having them all killed not really giving you enough time to wander around and just be on your own, be kind of confused before you then immediately get led by a guide to the next main story element. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.